Hey guys, so today's April 7th. It's 9:16, so the market opens in 15 minutes. I'm still sick, so please ignore my voice. And I'm not really sick. Okay, I'm not gonna get into that. But anyways, I figured I could use those 15 minutes to kind of go into details on how I do the top-down analysis and figure out how and when and where I will be entering my trade. So, because I realized yesterday, because everything happened pretty fast, I didn't really explain my thought process as I was going. I did, but I didn't. So we're going to do that today. So starting with the top-down analysis, and basically what that is we're analyzing where the market is, how the market's moving, and our thoughts basically on the market. So going through each time frame. So starting with the daily, I use the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour. I kind of use the 30 minutes, the 15 and the 5, and sometimes the 1 when it comes. I use the 5 and the 1 when it comes to entries. But starting with the daily, we are starting at a higher time frame. Overall, the market is currently on a downtrend. We have a high, we have a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, something like that, lower low, okay? And then we have a lower high right here currently. So currently it's on a downtrend, even though overall it is a bullish or a uptrend type of instrument. We haven't been able to break this all-time high since 2026, and even before then, since October. So we haven't been able to break these highs. We've just been breaking these lows, as you can see. So since price is currently, and these are what the gray lines help me to see. They help me to see price current trend. So because they're making lower lows, I have this trend line that represents a downtrend. And if it was moving up and it was to break this area right here where they cross, it'll let me know, okay, price is starting to go back up. So that's how I read my lines. And then if it broke this line here, it lets me know it's breaking all-time highs. So that's what those gray lines mean. So now that we got that out the way, currently, I don't really care about anything else. Currently, price is on a downtrend, and the current candle on the daily, I'm going to delete this for now. The current candle on the daily is bearish. So price is going down, or aka sellers are in control. So what that would tell me is if price was to break this low here, price will could possibly start going down for sales. But if price ended up breaking this high here, this candle here, if it broke this high, price would want to continue to the upside. And then this candle would flip to a bullish candle. But currently it is bearish. And part of my observation is I see that price here, this candle here, broke this previous high. So that created a zone right here. It created a demand zone right here. And knowing that, price, when it broke this high, it corrected back and it tapped into this this daily zone. So based off this, we got the uptrend, price is going up, going back up. We got the indication of a breaker structure. Price broke this previous high with this candle, right? And then it corrected and back and tapped this previous zone. The zone is always the previous candle of the opposite color. So if this candle broke the structure, the previous candle of the opposite color is the zone. So as you can see, I got my zone, and this candle here corrected and tapped back into the zone. This happened on the daily. All right, cool. And the reason we're only focusing on this candle is because today, today's candle would technically be the candle that we're trading. So this is the candle we traded yesterday. This is the candle we're trading today. So we're really only focusing on catching something in this candle. Okay, that's the daily. For the 4 hour, it's the same thing, but it's a little bit more information. Again, yesterday, this candle broke this structure, came back, tapped the zone, and we've been consolidating in this zone since then. As you can see, these are the candles. So this is the candle that broke this structure. This candle here broke this structure. See that? And it came out of this zone. So on the 4 hour, again, we would make the zone around it. I would include this low. So on the 4 hour, it would look like this. That's how the zone would look. Just to clean it up. So yes, on the 4 hour, we tapped. And technically what we would need to see is either, we can look for two things. We could look for a close outside the zone. But since this is the higher time frame, I would want to see a little bit more. Or we could look for a breaker structure. But if we got the breaker structure, we would only be able to catch a little bit back up to this, even this resistance, or the trend line. That's the farthest I would want price to go. Then I would wait to see if price would break this trend line or reject. So the breaker structure would happen here for me to want to know, for price to indicate it wants to keep pushing further, or it would have to invalidate the zone to let me know price wants to start going back down. So now let's go on to the 1 hour. Now we have some more information. It's the same thing, but just a little bit more information. As you can see, price has not been able to close outside the zone as of recently. The candle came, closed within the zone, and price has been trying to get out of the zone quite a bit. On the 1 hour, the zone is down here. So price could potentially, when market open, it could potentially come down, tap this 1 hour zone, and maybe push up, or it could just invalidate the zone. We don't trade what we think, we trade what we see. So until that happens, there's literally no trade. We would either, again, have to wait for the breaker structure up here. And let me put that so we can see that. Okay, so that would be the breaker structure. We would either wait for the breaker structure or we'll wait for price to invalidate. But that's, again, we're on the higher time frame. So it usually can take a while for the higher time frames to move. But again, it could happen like really quickly as well. Price can do whatever it wants. So, and again, this is a 4 hour zone. So let me write that so we remember what this zone is. Okay, so now let's go to the 30-minute. Again, same thing. Nothing really to explain. Same thing. Price created a high, came back, tapped into the zone. We've been playing in this zone. Price been holding this zone ever since. It could potentially come back and tap, a zone down here and then continue up, but we trade what we see, not what we think. So what we would look for is momentum coming out of the zone, potentially breaking minor breaker structures. But again, trade what we see, not what we think. In 15 minutes, it's a little bit more information. We could even, if we start to see price break this high here, we could potentially use that as a minor breaker structure to start catching it back up to here. But a more high probability trade would be waiting for this higher time frame breaker structure, because yesterday we were not, after we hit this or broke this structure here and created this high, we have not been able to push above this. So it would be a higher probability to wait for this breaker structure. So down to the 15, I'm at the 5. Yeah, we have not been able to make close any candles really outside of the zone. and continue up. So this would be a minor break of structure here. If we're able to close outside the zone and break the structure here, we could potentially catch it up to this break of structure. So that's what we'd be waiting on. Yeah, that's what we'd be waiting on. Now, market opens in 2 minutes, so let's wait and see what happens. And like I said, we do have like a small zone down here in this area somewhere, probably this candle, something like that. On like the 30 or the 1 hour, it was an area down here. So again, price could come deeper in the zone and could possibly even invalidate, or come deeper in the zone and then start to push back out. But we would like to see price start pushing outside of the zone and potentially breaking this breaker structure. Hopefully breaking this breaker structure so we can catch something at least up to this resistance or even the trend line. So yeah, let's see what happens. 1 minute till market open. If it breaks here, this will be a minor breaker structure. And I wouldn't be opposed to taking something on the minor, but it's not a high probability trade. It's not an A plus setup. So it would be a quick trade for me if I decide to take that. I don't trade the first 5 minutes of the market, so I let it play out and see what the market wants to do, and then I'll find my setup to trade. We got that break. We got that minor breaker structure. So that created a new zone on the 5 minute. Unless it's just going to leave us. So this will be a 5 minute zone right here. On a minor breaker structure. That was a top. Let's see if it holds or invalidates. Looks like it's going to invalidate. Yep. So that zone's invalid. So now we wait. Remember I said it can go deeper and deeper in this zone. As deep as it want to go, actually. So we're better off waiting for this breaker structure, honestly, y'all. Until then, there's no trade. It looks like price is about to come down and tap this 1 hour zone I was telling you guys about earlier. It did just hit 10 o'clock, so that would make sense. But if it does and price is able to hold, we should be able to start getting momentum back up to the upside. If not, and it invalidates, we're most likely going to be doing sales, and that's not the plan I had. So this will probably just be a no trade day. So let's see. But it just tapped. It just tapped. That's on the 1 hour. Let's see what happens. It still got 5 minutes, so. Okay, so price did come down. It did not invalidate this 1 hour zone. It did come down, and now it is hopefully going back up. We are having some bullish momentum going back up. So if it can keep pushing up and get a close outside the zone, still not a high probability trade. We would have to be above this resistance and start breaking structure. Again, I mean, this is big. This is a lot of space. And if I was looking to catch something, I would probably just hold it. If it closed outside of here, I would probably just hold it to the breaker structure. But again, that's not a high probability trade. Not sure if that's something I want to do. So, I'm going to decide what I want to do. And if not, I guess there will be no trade today. So, let's keep watching it. I'm only going to give it a few more minutes, probably an hour. And if we don't get nothing by 11, I'll be done for the day. So we did just get the close outside of the 1 hour zone. I'm debating getting in and just holding it to see what we can do. There's a supply zone right here. So depending on how it reacts, I might just try it. Again, this is not an A+ setup. Yeah, this is not an A+ setup at all. But I might just try it. Let's try it. We'll put in 7 contracts. I'm trying to think, is this what I want to do? Is it what we're doing, Ayana? Are we trying this? And holding it to the breaker structure? I say let's do it. I don't know, y'all. It's not A+, that's why. Let's see if this candle can push above this. I'll do it. If it can't, I won't do it. So let's see. Okay, I'm in it. Let's see. I don't want it to go below this candle here. This is not an A+ setup, so I'm not expecting it to work. But, hey. Okay, well, that's a loss. because it already pushed below that candle. So it's definitely a loss. Yeah. So we lost what? 437. Like I said, lucky. It wasn't lucky at all, but I knew it wasn't an A+ setup either. So that's the trade for the day, y'all. It's not really much to explain. Like I said, I didn't trade what I wanted to trade. I basically forced to trade. We lost 437. It hit the stop loss, and that is it. That is literally it. There isn't a trade, like I said, until we break this structure. We're far away, so I thought maybe if I got in early, I could catch it up to that breaking structure. But hey, price is gonna do what it want to do. You can't force it. But that's the trade of today. I will see you guys tomorrow.
8 hours later.
So as I'm editing, I decided to say, hey, let me look at the chart and see what it did. Well, right idea, bad timing. Because it did exactly what I wanted it to do. Lord, it broke the structure, went to the resistance, went to the trend line, and broke the trend line. Like, okay. And it did it after hours. Like, let me see what time it broke. It broke at 6, 7, somewhere around there. 6:30. It broke as soon as Asian session opened. Like, okay, bro. Like, okay. Mind you, this is the trade we took. This is the trade I took this morning. And I was just being like generous. I'm like, let me see if it can get here. When really I knew it could get here and break it, but that wasn't until hours later. Like, I'm not even gonna dwell on it. But right idea, wrong timing. It did exactly what I thought it was gonna do. So at least we managed our risk, I guess. Yay. All right, see y'all tomorrow.